Okay, how are you guys doing today? Today we're gonna show you guys how to make a plan detail of a wall section. So what that means is we are going to make a detail, which is kind of like a blown up view of the wall, as if we cut the wall horizontally and we could see all the studs and everything inside of it. And we're just making the plan view, which means as if we cut the wall horizontally and we were looking down at the wall, we'd see studs, um, insulation, drywall, and in this case we're going to do a brick wall. So it's going to be brick with the air gap, just like the one we did in class where um, we did it in groups with physical model when we did with chipboard and stuff like that. So first thing we're going to do, we are going to go to the R. We should have Revit already open. We're going to go to the R, and you're going to click New Project. Now, we're not doing a whole new project. We're just doing a new wall, basically wall. But in order to do that, you need to start a new project anyway. So we're going to say New Project. Make this one architectural template. It's going to be a project, not a project template. Project templates if you're going to make a template for someone else to use. Like I could make a template with everything already set up, and then you guys could use that. So in this case, we're using a project here. So say OK. It'll take a second for that to load up. Hopefully it will take less time on your computer or not. Okay, so we have our regular view here. We have the north or the west, north, east, and south elevation markers here. That's what those are. If you double clicked on one, then you'd be able to see that elevation. There's nothing in the middle yet. So you should have over here on the left properties and project browser. If for some reason you don't have either of those, like this, there's nothing over here, you need those. So you're going to go over to view, the view tab right here, click that, and then over here to user interface, click that, and then you will click project browser, sorry, then properties. Those are the two windows you always need over here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, I've already calculated about the approximate size this wall needs to be. So I'm going to go to the architecture tab. This is where you always start. You're going to do a wall, so click the wall. Then if you look down here, this is the pull down menu for all the different walls. So if I click that, I have all these different walls down in here. They have brick and CMU, foundation 12-inch concrete, etc., etc. We're going to do the generic 12-inch wall. So click generic 12-inch. Okay, so now our crosshairs have us starting the wall wherever we click. So I'm going to start over here kind of toward the left of the, if this were a cross, I'm going to start to the left of the cross points here, about right here. And we really don't need that much to make this section. So actually we're going to zoom in quite a bit. You can zoom in, and we really only need about 4 feet to make this section. You can make it longer than that, but we really only need 4 feet. So I'm going to do 4 feet. And if for some reason I press escape to get rid of this, and if for some reason press escape again, this isn't the right size, say it was out here and you wanted it 4 foot, you click the wall, this pops up, that's the measurement, then you will click the measurement and you can change it to whatever you want. So say 4 foot, like that. Okay, so we have a 4 foot wall. If we zoom out, it's a tiny wall in the middle of this huge expanse. We'll zoom into the wall. We're going to use this wall as a kind of boundary where we're going to put all our detail pieces. So last class we did a bunch of stuff with the regions, the different kind of shaded regions and pattern regions. In this class, we're going to use more things called components. But first, we're going to have to make a detailed view of this wall. Right now, we're just looking down at the wall. If we were to go over here to, if we go up here to view and then our 3D view, then we'd see our wall. Here's our tall wall right here. So right now we're just looking down at the wall in the plan view. So if we go to floor plan level 1 and double click it, we're looking right down at the wall. We want to make a detail view, which will allow us to make a bigger blow up of that view so we can see everything inside. And what that is called, it's a plan view, or it's also called a call out right here. So if we click a call out, we now have our crosshairs again. And what we're going to do is we're going to click somewhere off the top left corner of this wall here, click this and pull it over and then click again, just so you have that whole wall within that call out. Click again. So now, just like when we did a section before on a taco or whatever we did a call out. This creates a whole new detail. And if we look over here under, where is it at? Right here, floor plan, level 1, call out 1. That is this, where this is going right here. So we can either double click this to see the exploded or the expanded view, or we could double click this to see the expanded view. So here's our view. Pretty cool. So right now the view scale is at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot over here. 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So what we should go to is probably at least 1 inch equals a foot. And you might even be able to get away with doing 3 inch equals a foot. The bigger the scale, the smaller the line weight will be, and the more details you'll be able to see in it. See, right now you notice the line is very thick, and if I go to a 1 inch equals a foot scale and apply, it actually gets much thinner. And if I go to a 3 inch, it should be even thinner still. See, I can barely see the line now. Let's go back to 1 inch equals a foot just for this exercise. Okay, so this line, if you guys remember from the dream house thing, this line is the crop line. So anything, if I clicked it, anything inside of this, I'll be able to see. But if I move this over like this, I can't see that part because it's cropping it out. So I'll move it back, and we want to see everything within this wall. This dashed line is an annotation crop, which means if I were to write some text and an arrow, which we're going to do later, we're going to write an arrow and some text. If the text goes out past that line, it won't show me the text anymore. What I have to do is I have to click this dash line and move it way out here so that if I write text in here, it will show me all the text. So leave it like this, and these are little crop dots that you can move. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I believe we're going to start with the inside of the wall. Now, if you remember, I'm just kind of moving these out. If you remember, the inside of our wall, and inside of your wall, probably in your house or your apartment, has gypboard in it, or drywall, or sheetrock, some people call it. They don't say sheetrock because sheetrock is considered a brand name, so usually just say gypboard. So we need to find gypboard to put on this first little part right here. Or if you consider this the inside, you can put it up here, either way. So gypboard, I'm going to start with the bottom as the inside. And I can even, if I wanted to, go to annotate and text. Click right here and say inside or interior. And then I can do the same thing somewhere up here, exterior. That's just for me. You don't have to do that. But so the interior side, we are going to need some drywall. So what we're going to use is this new thing called, and we're going to go to part 2 here in a second. So just give me a second. Part 2 coming up.